Well, welcome back everybody. So let's talk about big windows and big glass in the way of the new RXM-300 from Bushnell. This is their kind of larger window competition geared, yet still ready for everyday carry optic if you are into running optics on your pistols, which you can see I'm definitely a fan of. We need to get into the specs and the sizes of this thing because even though it looks similar, there's some different stuff going on with this optic as far as its overall design and feature set. And it actually got a really cool diagram, like a three-dimensional rendering of the internals of these optics, because I reached out to Bushnell and wanted to know what was going on in there to make them different, read that military drop testing thing. So they were nice enough to send it to me, and it doesn't give away any of their proprietary design. We'll go over that here in a minute, but starting off with the specs, obviously this is a miniature red dot, but this can be used for rifles or pistols. Pick your mounting solution on which you want to go with. One of the best things here, it is the RMR mounting footprint. Now that's huge because it's one of the most popular footprints out there in the market today. You've also got several user selectable setups on here, from auto ambient intensity, of course the shake awake that we all want today, a selectable defeat if you don't want to do that and you want to run it full manual, and then you have a button lockout as well in case you're afraid you're going to adjust it on accident. Now the default condition on this one is going to be manual brightness with a 5-minute timer on that lockout. Now I'm a huge fan of that version because I want to control my own dot brightness, but I want that auto shut off in a reasonable time. And I think 5 minutes is very reasonable. Obviously the housing design here and its size along with that glass is for visibility and giving you more of it. Now they call their hood design an optimized geometry with the reflector and the lens design. And basically what this says is it provides a much larger lens and a larger target window for fast target acquisition and obviously quicker follow-up shots without sacrificing the durability in there. And some of that durability comes in the design of what they call speed holes. Now, the primary intention of these is to serve as crumple zones. Much like when a car gets in an accident, certain areas are meant to crumple and take the impact and the damage. Well, this is basically what these holes are for. Now they also serve as kind of like a quick reference alignment tool. When you press this pistol out on a target, you'll actually see light through those two holes once it's aligned. And it kind of does help your eye train in just a little bit in those high stress or, stressful scenario shoots out there on the range. You're gonna have 12 settings on here. 2 of them are going to be for night vision for all of my cool cats out there running NV stuff. The point source LED, which is what they call it, does actually create a very nice and very crisp and clear circle for that 4 MOA dot. It again gives you 12 settings total, very bright in the daytime. I ran this in extremely bright sunlight out on a summer Arizona day, and it was easy to view even in the more median settings in that Arizona desert. Now, battery life, that is always a huge topic of debate when it comes to optics, and every optics company claims something different. Bushnell says this is going to give you 35,000 hours on a medium setting, or roughly 4 years of life. Now I think that's pretty reasonable based on the 2032 battery that goes in there, the fact that it auto shuts off after 5 minutes. So it seems to be that is a reasonable scenario battery life if you carry this thing around kind of every day, because it's likely going to be resting or on the nightstand or in the safe for, let's say, 8 to 10 hours a night at least, which means the battery is not going to be used the entire time. Now it does have a very nice layout here, obviously with the adjustment buttons on the left and the right side. Your detented windage and elevation adjustments right there, which are 1 MOA per click, and you're going to get 50 MOA on the windage and elevation in total. That CR2032 battery is about the biggest one you can shove in there, and it's easily replaceable because it is top mounted, which gives you super easy access. Now the adjustment buttons on the left and the right are slightly depressed, they're rubberized, and they're a very good medium size. They're not too big, they're not too small, and they're easy to find either with your primary or your offhand, depending on how you want to adjust your brightness out there. Now the design of the hood is actually really nice. It's been chamfered and rounded off very well, and that's to prevent snagging or catching on clothing or holsters or whatever you are using this for out there in the world. So overall, well done on that. A little bit more about that durability. It is IPX7 rated. It has their exo barrier coating on the glass, and it's made of 7075 T6 aircraft grade aluminum. That is the good stuff. So obviously that rugged 7075 T6 aluminum housing is meant to protect that glass along with those speed holes in there. And of course the electronic internals in there. Now, the IPX7 rating, if you don't know what the IPX7 is, that basically means that this thing can be underwater 1 meter for 30 minutes without damage. Now, I've always said, if you and your pistol are a meter underwater for 30 minutes and you're not wearing a scuba tank or a rebreather, when your body floats to the surface, you've got more to worry about than whether your optics is still gonna work or not. But they've given you that IPX7 rating anyways. It comes with multiple mounts, so you can put this on a rifle either in a low or high position, or of course go direct to slide if you are going to be running this on a pistol. And again, RMR footprint, so a ton of you out there are going to be super happy about that. As far as the actual measurement size here on that window, it's going to be 24 by 28 millimeters, which is pretty large compared to other stuff in the market. It's going to weigh 1.95 ounces. It is parallax free, which is super important because if it's on a pistol, you could be looking at that dot anywhere in the window and it's still going to hit your intended target. Now, the range performance on this one was solid. Having that extra window makes it super easy to get up on target, align on target, and not only get that first shot off, but continue to get really good shots off on target with ease. Now, at the time of filming this video, it was 115 degrees when I actually got this one onto the range. And that pistol had been sitting out in the sun for most of the morning, so it got rather hot, as you can imagine. But it maintained its zero not only through that heat, which is way hotter than it's usually going to get in a normal operation of cycling, but also through the impact of the slide going back and forth. There was no drift, there was no blinking, there was no phasing or pulsing of the LED. Everything just worked out exactly as you would want it to. What really makes an optic different from another, as far as, you know, the glass, but really the LED and the internals in there, because that's where the rubber meets the road. Because if none of that stuff works, the glass really doesn't matter. So like I said, I was able to get this diagram, a 3D rendering from Bushnell that doesn't leak any of their proprietary design stuff in there. And I want to show that to you right now. So basically the biggest things we're going to look at here on this sheet is what goes into this diagram. Now the carriage, if you see down on there at that arrow, is the main component that keeps the LED in place and ensures the windage and elevation hold during impact or hard use. Now, the windage and elevation adjustments on there, as you can see, not only need to be sealed, but they need to be held in a position with a semi-locking or a friction system that allows for movement, yet still not allow for accidental changes. And the last thing is going to be the actual LED package in there and the emitter that's in it. So you choose the right one, you got a great looking, strong, crisp LED. Choose the wrong one, and you get pulsing or phasing or starburst or whatever you want to call it in there. And as I said earlier, the LED in here is solid, so obviously they chose right. I do have a couple of features that I really do like about this specific Bushnell, especially for the size of this thing, and that's obviously going to be that glass and the clarity of it. That larger window just makes it really easy to get the dot on target. Even though it is larger, this thing was still very concealable on the right pistol with its kind of snag-free and like very smooth design. The rubberized adjustment buttons were easily located, easy to adjust, but were not prone to accidental adjustments. And of course, the top-mounted battery is just the way to go. And this one actually has a notch in there, so you can get the included tool down in there and change the battery with ease. Now the MSRP on this one is listed right now at $299. Now for the size of the window and what you're getting with this package in the market today of red dots out there, it seems to be a very solid price for all of the options that you are getting in the RXM-300 from Bushnell. Now I don't know about you, but it seems to me that like red dots have gone the way like cell phones did. So they were big and then we got them really, really small, like micro red dots. And now we're kind of getting them a little bit bigger, almost like from the tiny cell phones back in the day to smartphones in the modern era. It seems to be that optics are doing the same thing when it comes to miniature red dots. If you see that same thing, let me know down in the comments. Well, that's what I've got for you all today on the RXM-300 from Bushnell. If you guys like what's going on here in this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. All of that stuff is a huge help to the channel. It means a lot to me, both personally and professionally. And it does help push this video into the algorithm so other people can get the knowledge that they want as well. Get out on the range, keep doing it. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.